Okay, hello and welcome to Monday's stream. And to E3 week. Where, yeah, it's, you know, stuff is underway. Not really much to say about it at the moment. Yeah, we'll go into some more stuff later, I was just thinking. Okay, level turned off. Hopefully everyone watching as well. Trying to think of what to say at the moment without going into much. Hopefully we'll have some stuff to talk about in a bit. But yeah, it's been a interesting start to the weekend with the E3 stuff, so not funny. Yeah, nothing going on here beforehand. Hi Susie. VC is open. This is the main thing at the moment though. Let's work out what type this gym has ended up. So, normal or flying? Okay. Best for you, but we can use Gunganir for this. Hey, Alex. Wait, what do you mean? Why are you mentioning Vermintide 2? That's been out for a while. Unless there's got new stuff happening. And yeah, I saw you pop in, Susie. So we do have some... Ah, okay, getting an update. I can't remember what I have it on. I think it's PC I've got it on. Yeah. PvP. Huh. If you want to jump in the voice chat, Alex, you can. Right. Against either normal or flying types. It's going to be an interesting one.
I'm gonna guess normal.
Yeah, you need to turn yourself up, Susie. Flying types.
God damn it.
That means having Skippy out front is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex. Well, Skippy's 4 times weak to flying. Because what types is Skippy?
Plant.
Well,
no.
grass, yeah.
I'm gonna guess bug.
No.
Okay. Grass. Water.
No. I said if you've got a 4 times weakness to flying. What else is weak to flying types? I think that one's the progression one, yeah.
Don't worry, I'm still trying to work this out.
Susie's brain ticking away. Hey
Part of me
Joe.
wants to get my frickin' book.
Yeah, we'll discuss some E3 stuff in a bit. I've got a few thoughts about some things. About what's been said already. And we have the PC gaming show going on at the minute, so I was going to give it time to run its course. Although I have something to say about the PC gaming show anyway.
Oh crap, poison.
Nope.
Bloody hell. Airy?
Nope. Yeah, Ubisoft starts just when I end. So I expect the main thing to the main thing I'm hoping that they talk about in the Ubisoft presentation is the new operators for R6. I've got a little bit about them, but I want, you know, to just know a bit more on them. So
This is gonna be one hell of a stupid guess. Okay, so I'm thinking electric.
nope. Electric types are good against flying.
Yeah, I thought so.
Beyond good and evil 2 info. Yeah.
Fighting.
Yes.
Okay, that was the other one I was gonna go for.
Breloom is a grass fighting type. And until
Okay.
Gen 6, it was the only one. Yeah, because the grass starter in Gen 6 becomes grass fighting. Yeah.
He was no longer alone. Or it was no longer alone.
Yeah. Breloom, however, has a really cool combo you can do for like some really stupid healing abilities.
Oh no, not trivia.
Pardon? Oh.
Alex has a trivia question for me. Can I just go and hide? Can I go back to sleep?
No.
I literally woke up only like 5 minutes ago.
No, because then I'll be alone. Hello, TA. Oh yeah, Alec, that's good. Okay, so what is Swampert week 2?
Oh, bugger.
Well, we'll try and establish what type Swampert is.
I'm guessing with a name like that, probably poison type?
Nope.
Oh my god.
No, TA. We're trying to. We want Susie's brain to tick.
Okay, rock?
No.
Oh my god.
It's a dual type, and you just got close to one of its types with rock.
Steel.
No.
Rock. Ground.
Yes.
Okay. Ground something. I'm guessing it's gonna be something ridiculous, like ground fairy.
No. Swampert
Okay.
existed before Fairy type was existing.
Okay.
Granted, they have retyped Pokemon to be Fairy type, but...
Ground.
Carefully select your hint, TA. Care- Yeah, that's a good one, yes. TA says, what is in a swamp?
Swamp. Bug.
No.
It'll be too easy to be grass.
It's not a grass.
It would be, though. It'd be too easy. But, water.
Yes. Swampert is... Swampert is the 3rd generation water starter fully evolved.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so you've now established its types. Water and ground. So what's it weak to?
Electric.
No!
Yes.
Ground is immune to electric.
Oh my god. Please. Ah! I'm so bad when it comes to what things weak to.
Mudkip is...
Mudkip!
Yeah. Mudkip's final form.
Oh, okay, cute.
And in Generation 6 it gained a Mega Evolution for the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire versions.
That's sweet.
Note X and Y, it did not get a Mega Evolution.
What do we do?
Because they added more for the remakes.
Okay, I'm gonna guess.
Hmm?
I'm gonna guess it's probably only one thing they're weak to.
Pretty much.
Am I close? Okay.
Pretty much. I can't remember. I can only remember one weakness for it, so...
I'm gonna guess. 'Cause normally I
TA's
do know
comment,
this.
the Mega Evolution looks like it's chugged steroids.
I misread that, so I saw it as Mega Evolution looks like it chugged steroids.
So it ate a meal. Yeah, I know, Alex. It was the weird thing that they had Mega Blaziken in X and Y, but not Mega Sceptile and Swampert. Anyway, Susie, back to your thing.
So I do know about. I know there's some types that are weak to only just this type, and I'm probably going to be hard wrong.
Well,
Dragon.
no.
Yep,
Dragon
got it.
can only super effective Dragon.
Okay.
No, okay, I'll give you a hint, Susie. You've got to remember about the starters, that there is always a triangle when it comes to them.
Fire. Grass. Grass.
Yeah. You have to remember that starters always keep their weakness triangle.
Yeah.
So each starter is always super effective against each other. Well, against one other. So the grass one will always remain super effective against the water. Water will always remain super effective against fire. And fire then back against the grass.
Yeah.
So...
Yay, I got there in the end.
Not Gen 4. Gen 4 they tried playing it backwards, but they didn't do it properly. Because yes, Torterra is part ground type, so it could then use Earthquake and the like back on Infernape, but and then Infernape's fighting type was handy back against Empoleon's steel type, but steel doesn't super effective grass or ground, so even though they also gave Empoleon flying type moves, but bear in mind water types all pretty much learn ice type moves anyway, so can't count that. And bear in mind, I'm only referring to their actual types, not other type moves they can learn. Because technically, Charizard and Blastoise can outmaneuver Venusaur when it comes to type coverage. So...
Makes sense.
Because Charizard has access to a couple of electric attacks via move tutors.
Yep.
And Blastoise has always had the ability to get Ice Beam. I forget that bit. That's normally because I very rarely have ever battled Empoleon using a Torterra. I usually have something else deal with him. Namely an Electivire.
I kind of need to get back to my Diamond playthrough because I need to... I miss my Torterra.
Yeah, Torterra was awesome. So, yeah, we'll get to some talk on E3 once Alex is done with his food, because he's seen a couple of extra bits I haven't, so...
my dinner's nearly ready in a moment, so...
Yeah, Susie's gonna go off. So what we'll do is, once everyone's ready, we'll cover E3 stuff from the last few days, and then we'll talk about hopes for tomorrow. AKA, let's set ourselves up to be completely disappointed.
Can I just say we're already gonna hear a moan and cry about Fable 3?
You mean Fable 4? Susie can't even get the game right.
Yeah, expected. Oh my god. Right, I will dish up
Here
dinner.
we go. We're up against Joe!
Joe!
Joe! What? How could you betray me? Although he only has a Pidgey to start with. Tia, you said it wrong.
Oh no, it's a traitor. It's a traitor trotter.
T-R-A-R. Oh, Pidgeotto, he has got something better. Still not there yet, but...
Yeah, I need to dish up dinner, but I need to see what he has.
Pidgeotto. So yeah, it's only got 3 Pokemon.
Alex.
Now, if he has a Pidgeot as his final Pokemon, this is going to be brilliant.
Come on.
Wait, was that Pidgey and then Pidgeotto?
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
This is why I'm not dishing up dinner, even though I should, but I need to see what this last Pokemon is.
Okay, come on, randomizer. Give us a Pidgeot, because this would be the best randomization. No, Skarmory.
No!
Randomizer, you had one job and you screwed up.
It's close though.
Still.
Yeah. Oh well. There goes my entertainment.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Sorry, Joe, the randomizer let you down.
So what's this that they're talking about? Oh, they're talking about Borderlands 3 right now.
All I'm going to say at the moment is every single brand new game announced at the PC Gaming Show is bound to be announced as an Epic Store exclusive.
Quite possibly, yes.
Because Epic is sponsoring the whole thing.
Their stream broke for a second.
Corviknight's got... Yeah, but we don't actually know what Corviknight's typing is, so...
Yeah, we do.
Oh, did they actually reveal that now?
It's still flying.
Okay.
They announced the typings of all of them.
Oh, I hadn't seen they announced that. So,
Well, apart from the legendaries.
I'm imagining they're both part steel type.
Yeah, definitely. So Eldegoss and Gossifleur are both just pure grass.
Well, that being at least part grass type was to be expected.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, some of them it was kind of obvious their typings were, or at least half of their typing, because Corviknight was going to definitely be a flying type.
Yeah.
Now, I was between Dark or Steel for its other type.
Same.
Because the Ravens are always considered with some pretty dark lore. So, hence the whole...
But Knights, sort of,
Yeah.
would link to Steel.
That's what I mean, they could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Wooloo...
It stands to reason if the Pokemon called Corviknight is going to be a Steel type, and it kind of looks like it's wearing armor, then both of the legendaries will be Steel type.
Well, plus Sword and Shield, they're kind of things you'd expect to be Steel type. I mean, look at Aegislash.
Yeah.
In fact, the entire
That's
family,
it.
Honedge, Doublade, and Aegislash, they're all
Yeah.
Steel types, so...
Yeah.
And then even other Pokemon with slight motifs of like blades and whatnot. Scyther is kind of the only exception because A, Steel didn't exist at the time, and B, it's based on a praying mantis. So
But Scizor did get the Steel treatment.
yeah,
in
but then
the
it has
next generation.
scissors for hands, so...
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, like the
So-
only Pokemon with blades that is not a Steel type is Scyther. But then it fits the
Yeah.
Bug. Bug is, I guess, the only other type that can get away with blades. So yeah. TA wants a Wooloo.
Wooloo is a normal type, and it has it has a new ability as well.
I'm just bringing up...
It's called Fluffy.
No, I believe that one was in the previous generation. Unless it's just the
Hang on.
same ability with new name.
Oh no, no, that wasn't the new ability. Sorry, the new ability was Gossifleur and Eldegoss's ability.
Yeah. I was
thought
about to
for some
say, I was
reason
certain
was the new
Fluffy was on... oh, that dog from Gen 6.
one. Furfrou, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, their ability is called Cotton Down. It lowers the speed of a Pokemon that attacks it.
Okay.
So gooey.
Yeah, which I guess they need to do a new name for it because Gooey doesn't work for that Pokemon.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I've got them up. Yeah,
Someone's
And
dressed
they
up as a
also-
shark.
they also have Regenerator. I'm definitely going to try and go for Cotton Down because I've never had use of Regenerator.
Yeah.
Oh, Dreadnought, Water Rock,
Water Rock.
Strong Jaw, and Shell Armor, both good abilities.
Yeah.
It just needs a good number. I mean, beyond Bite and Crunch, which I think it's a guarantee to know, it's going to need other biting moves to really make the Strong Jaw viable.
Yeah. And the problem is also is that it's not a dark type, so it's not going to get stabbed from all the biting moves. it's
But
gonna
then
learn.
Strong Jaw's making up for that.
Yeah, I suppose. So what's this game that they're showing?
Corviknight, Pressure. Okay, yes, that's going to be awesome. Unnerve, meh. I don't really care too much on the berries and whatnot, but Pressure's a good one. The Unknown Squirrel. And Susie's not
Yeah,
around
this
to get
is-
distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we have our legendaries. I'm imagining that Zamazenta's going to have some sort of ability, maybe to go with its defenses.
Probably, yeah.
It's your boy. Hello there. How you doing? It's kind of quiet. It usually is a sort of quiet place here, so...
Man-Eater. It's a game called Man-Eater. Looks like shark attacks sort of thing.
Oh, that game, I know people have been after that for a while. It's been in early access for a while. Yeah,
Nice hashtag.
people,
F
yeah,
to respect
players,
shark.
yeah, people play either as the human or a shark. And the idea of the sharks is to eat the humans before they get the treasure and escape. I've seen a little bit of it played, so... But how you doing, it's your boy? I have just realised I was not paying attention. Nom nom. It's a game TA is going to play if she can get it on her computer, or if it comes to any consoles in their digital stores. So. Trying to remember where I have to go now. Believe I need to now do. Thing.
Oh yeah. You know, I remember what game you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it looks like a game based on that. Except it's not multiplayer.
Oh.
And you're in a giant city, but you're sort of like in the docks area. And
Okay, so it's not the game I was thinking.
You're just causing a lot of chaos, sort of like chomping up people on the boats and whatnot.
Okay.
It's got the same mechanics as that game with the sharks.
Yeah.
You know, like you're swimming underwater, biting things to recover health, or thing. But it's a completely different game.
Yeah. It's been so long since I've done this TA. I just forgotten where I had to go, and you know, I was mashing through the menu so quickly that I wasn't paying attention. Ah, welcome back, Susie.
I'll be muting here and there when I eat, but yeah.
Right. So, I think we'll start from the beginning with E3 so far. So let's go back to Saturday.
Okay.
With EA.
EA.
I mean, to be fair, EA only had one thing really to show off. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, we called it on Sims 4.
Mm-hmm.
Expansion packs.
Expansion. Hooray! Not Sims 5 or anything.
Or like a new enhanced version for consoles.
Yeah, and not a port over to the Switch, which is what I would have done.
Whoa, this is lagging this zone like anything.
Jim Sterling actually surprisingly isn't that keen on what was shown for the new Star Wars game.
I was getting mixed, like he was mixed. There was bits he liked and bits he was just concerned about because they may not have shown the best section.
Yeah.
EA had Joe on Saturday before, because E3 technically started Sunday. But yeah, EA did the last couple of years, EA have done an event before E3, which is all about their stuff. Basically because they don't want to share the spotlight with anyone else. The best way to view it. And, yeah.
Susie.
Don't worry, TA, the Magikarps will evolve into...
Journey's End.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wait, what?
No, it can't end. I love Terraria. Ah!
But yeah, don't worry, TA, those Magikarps will evolve into a Gyarados and get their revenge.
It looks like a new update for Terraria.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean... I mean, the way I'm seeing Jedi Fallen Order compared is to the Uncharted games.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I've never played an Uncharted game, but I've only ever really heard mostly good things about them. So, it doesn't sound like a bad... You know, from what, at least my experience of hearing about Uncharted, it doesn't sound like a bad comparison. So... Yeah, I'm going to pick it up because, you know, I at least want to show EA that I want single-player Star Wars games.
Yeah.
You know, they do. It is said that you know, to these companies, you vote with your money. And as much as I would prefer to pick up the game in a used pile because it's EA, that's not going to show my support for that choice of game development.
No.
So it's going to be a time I say to EA, look, you give me this sort of game, I will give you my money.
Private lives shattered by terrible line.
So, yeah. But, like, we've got some cool stuff in there. Forrest Whitaker, as far as people can tell, is doing the voice of Saw Gerrera. If not, they've got a really good person who can do the voice of Forrest Whitaker, so... But it's clearly not it's clearly not the person who did the character in Clone Wars originally, so that's cool. K2 units are nice to see because I wish Rebels used them. So, yeah. And the little droid looks awesome. And the way they're using the droid for... You know, like, the droid is being used to act so it doesn't break immersion of the game with certain things. Because, like, the droid, when you go into your pause menu, the droid is holographically projecting it. Which is a...
Telling lies.
I mean, that's usually what the third-party developers do.
How live?
Yeah.
Yeah. It appears to be a game where you're solving the cases of like 4 people who've gone missing or have died or whatever, and you're trying to figure out why or where or something, and you're going through their sort of video logs and whatnot, picking out details, trying to find more files and whatnot, trying to, you know, narrow down what's going on.
But then, yeah...
It uses live action sort of video editing sort of stuff.
Okay. It's been a while since we've had a live.
Yeah. I guess in a way, if it's watching like the... If it's like for the cut... Because obviously these video clips will be cutscenes, not an interactive thing.
Yeah, no, they're not interactive. There'll be cutscenes. From the clips that you're finding.
That's what I mean, but they are basically the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So that's where they can get away with them, because there's stuff that cannot be influenced.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing. But no, anyway, going back with Fallen Order, I mean, like, the combat looks good. I mean, you should be knocking stormtroopers down in one hit with a lightsaber. This is probably the most realistic lightsaber effects in any game.
Yeah.
Finally, realistic lightsaber effects.
Although, I'm kind of a bit I'm kind of questioning whether or not they actually, because it just looks like they're sort of just slicing into them, but they're not slicing bits off. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to remember they still want it to have a low enough rating for younger people to buy.
True.
And B, proper dismemberment animations are actually really complicated.
Yeah.
Because you've got to
it would be nice.
You've got to consider how the computer would have to work out where you're hitting and the exact lines and whatnot you'd have to dismember.
That would be one hell of a programming job.
Yeah. So it's like when I've been playing the Jedi Knight games, you can occasionally get an arm to come off. But the game is only programmed for like one arm to come off in one spot. It's like, so the right arm will come off at just above the elbow. And I've had times where my lightsaber has only hit the left arm, and yet the right arm is the one that gets cut off. So, yeah, let's just... It's a very finicky thing to do, so...
Yeah.
It's an easier thing for them to program on...
some point. If they could implement it in like sequel or something, that would be pretty cool.
I mean, I was going to say,
like,
we could probably see it on a droid. Droids are a little easier for them to, to program these things in, because they could just be like, this is the joint, this is how it can come off.
Yeah.
It's a lot more harder with a organic, and like I say, it's a little bit more legally problematic.
It's been done before. Oh, they're talking about new Warframe stuff. Ooh.
As then obviously the other EA stuff is the usual annual sports games and whatnot. I will say,
Sucks.
I will say one thing. There is controversy over FIFA 20 because the Switch version is not getting any of the new features.
Oh.
Yeah. Literally, the Switch version is only going to be just an up-to-date version of all the teams. And that is it. So
they shouldn't be calling it FIFA 2020 then.
Well, FIFA 20. But
Yeah.
But the main thing is bear in mind, they are still going to sell the game for full price on the Switch.
Oh yeah.
And it's FIFA 19, just with all the players corrected to where they are for the 29. This is the weird thing. I find the weird thing, they call it, FIFA and then whatever year number, but the teams are technically a year out of date.
Pretty much.
Because the game that is referred to as FIFA 19 is technically running off the 2018 lineups.
Yeah.
And FIFA 20 is going to be running on the 2019 lineups.
The reason why they call it that though is that they update. I think they update the game with how it's doing in the real world. So by the time that the old game becomes redundant, it is that year.
Well, not quite, because they released these things in October. And bear in mind, like, over here, the transfer stuff is not done until January. So, yeah, they run a year behind, basically. They just sell it. It's because that's what year is going to be on sale for the most.
Yeah. Let's start talking about FIFA before I get
called 2020.
a little pissed off, because I hate
hindsight.
FIFA.
I mean, okay, look, the idea of what they've said is going on with FIFA, fine. It's features that were in older FIFA games. But, yeah. The fact that they're just not giving the Switch all these extra things, the Switch is basically a bare minimum port, and they're going to charge the full price. It's just like, it's a case of, why? Why bother?
Exactly.
But they know that the Switch is selling, and people want to play these games on the go. They're just assuming people who have a Switch are an idiot.
Pretty much.
And are willing to throw their money away.
I have news for them. We're not, and we don't want to.
Bear in mind, that's what the AAA industry is like, though. They assume people are idiots. It's because there was a chat I saw going on earlier in the Game Attack Discord, which was going on about the digital games market should have made games cheaper because you're not paying for discs and the cases for them. Yet they are sold at launch for the same price.
Yeah.
Sometimes even more, actually.
No, but I'm just going on to basic stuff. So companies are actually making, are assuming people are stupid and don't realise that the physical versions of games are actually more expensive. And are just like, okay, yeah, I can have it, not realising that there's actually a difference in price. Well, it's not that much, really.
No, it's about like a couple of pounds and that bit.
Yeah. because the discs are cheap, and the reason the Switch games are more expensive are because the cartridges are more expensive.
Yeah.
But that's the only drawback of Nintendo going to cartridge. For the Switch, it's much more expensive, but there are advantages as well. It has a faster load time because it's basically an SDD. Actual less risk of damage because of discs are easier to damage. It's why Sony, when they did the PlayStation Portable, had the UMDs, which were these weird, like, cart discs in a cartridge, so like mini floppy disk things. But those were super expensive to manufacture, so... Plus, the other problem is having a disk drive on a handheld is rather cumbersome. So, yeah.
You kind of...
El Hijo.
It's why the PlayStation the PlayStation Vita went to cartridges as well. But who owns a PlayStation Portable or Vita?
No
I have
one.
a PSP. I have a PSP.
I mean, I admit, at one point I did want a PSP, but...
Yeah.
PlayStation.
For the Tag Force games. Those were fun.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what I wanted it for.
I don't
And
know.
honestly, I probably don't think of any games that I would actually play.
The other reason why I wanted it was because portable film watching.
Yeah, though you could
Yeah.
buy portable DVD players pretty cheap.
No, I mean, like, because like you could watch videos on the PSP.
But
I had Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on mine.
yeah, as I say, it was a... anyway.
There's a Star Wars Clone Wars episode on it.
The main thing being... the console was not gonna... Anyway, that's completely out of the need. But yeah, so EA's presentation was basically, here's Star Wars, and here's just the updates to everything else. Then we had the Nintendo Championships, which the only thing to take away from that was a message from Sakurai. Saying, Tuesday we will get the next Smash Fighter revealed. And so, yesterday kicked off with Microsoft's presentation. And to be fair, there was only one bit of information out of that, well...
It was a snooze fest.
Let's just face it, Microsoft's presentation was, here's a load of games you already know about, and are not going to come out until next year. Oh, by the...
here's a console that's going to be very, very overpriced. Have fun.
Oh yeah, and here's our net. I was gonna hang on, Joe. I'll come to that in a second.
You know it's gonna be like £800 though.
Yeah.
It will be like 800.
They say it's 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X.
Like, you know it's gonna be 800, and that, in my mind, is being generous considering.
But hold on, this is what I was just to finish what I was saying. It's a case of like, here's a load of games that are not going to be out until next year, and it's going to be announced at next year's. This is my prediction for next year's E3. I mean, they already said Halo Infinite will be on the Xbox Scarlet, as they're calling it at the moment. All these other games they've revealed, Battletoads, and Gears 5, and a few others, they're going to be announced that they are going to be delayed until the Scarlet.
I have a feeling,
Baldur's Gate.
E3 is going to pop up next year, and we're just going to see deja vu of literally yesterday.
This is basically most of what Microsoft talked about at this year's E3 was the same as what they talked about last year's E3.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get a repeat of.
I think next year they're going to be very heavy on the hardware.
Yeah.
Because that's when they obviously want to sell the console to the public. You know, mentally.
Yeah.
But it's going to come down to the PS new generation versus the Xbox Scarlet.
I'm excited to see what Sony have, honestly.
Yeah, although again, it's going to be too overpriced to start with, isn't it?
People are considering Witcher 3 is better than Skyrim.
Never played The Witcher, but I have played Skyrim. But not much of Skyrim, so I can't really...
I do own The Witcher 3 and I played a little bit of it. I do know
pretty
that.
cool.
The only thing I really know about The Witcher 3 is that it's got sex in it. That's about it.
Henry Cavill is going to play the lead role in the is it Netflix or Amazon adaptation?
Netflix.
So,
Yeah. On to Bethesda.
Doom Eternal is looking good.
Yeah, but are you sure it's not more lies?
It's software and are known to be given a lot of freedom. So, I think that's the one thing that is holding that game into some good standings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Joe, so you mentioned about Phantasy Star Online 2 coming over to the West finally next year. I have a feeling it might be too little too late. Because it's years old, that MMO. And it's not going to get the player base it probably needs.
They'll probably announce a third one sometime soon.
And then take years to bring that to the West.
Yep.
So, that's the only thing. There's the new Tales game that Microsoft unveiled. I've really been getting into the Tales games lately, so I'm kind of intrigued in that one. So
I find it funny that people still are serious about Elder Scrolls Blades. It's a pure Elder Scrolls game at heart, says no one at all. All it is grindy BS and long wait times.
But then everything else from Bethesda is basically, it's not coming really soon, or it's stuff you've kind of wanted us to do. So I can see
PC
why they
gaming's
saved
ending.
Doom to last.
Yeah.
Because if they led
PC
with Doom, everyone would have turned off after Doom was done.
Yeah. They didn't even announce anything new, really.
No. Anything new, it's almost like what they did at last year's E3, where anything new was actually announced at QuakeCon. So, which is basically what they said here again was
6 news. But yeah, the PC gaming show E3 conference is about to end. So
anything major out of that?
I mean, the last thing that they were talking about was Baldur's Gate.
See, I've played I played with someone the second game back on the PlayStation 1.
This looks like a remake, I guess.
They did recently announce that Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, plus a load of other Dungeons and Dragons video game adaptations were coming up to modern consoles. Because I saw the big trailer for the Switch. There's like 5 or 6 of them coming.
Yeah, this looks like it's a remake. That's also happening.
They did announce Baldur's Gate 3 was in development at the same time.
Oh, this is just the trailer that was showed yesterday at Microsoft. Their days gone. Oh yeah, that was actually a new game, wasn't it, that they announced? This zombie game.
But clearly not an Xbox exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing. The games Microsoft revealed yesterday, were any of them exclusives?
No.
About 90% of them were indie games, so no.
So yeah, Microsoft went on over this last year a big spending spree, buying a load of small studios, and they've got nothing to show for it. It's saying if they made that the announcement of their new console their thing, that it's basically, yeah, we've just given up this generation now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, we got the Ubisoft.
Dying Light 2 wasn't even exclusive.
It was worth me on. Oh, Susing some. So, yeah, we've got Ubisoft coming up just after the stream ends. So
in 1 hour.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm only interested mainly in Rainbow Six.
I'm interested in Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I mean, they might have some. Oh, and Watch Dogs, because they have confirmed Watch Dogs Legion is a thing. It leaked a couple of days before the E3, and because Amazon put it up on their storefront. Although the posting was questionable because the way it was all worded was really badly spelt.
Yeah.
And it was basically just like words of the developer. But yeah, Watch Dogs Legion. I've played the first Watch Dogs. It was meh. Watch Dogs.
You want to bet that Ubisoft will be the best press conference?
What about Nintendo's?
I don't think they've got much to show. Really. I have a feeling they haven't got much.
But bear in mind, there's a lot we don't know about the rest of this year with the Switch.
True.
And that announcement for Smash is it's gonna be probably like any character announcement, divisive. So,
unless they end up doing what they did when they revealed
Joker.
Joker, yeah. Where they just sort of like in someone else in one of the other stream sort of conferences. I think it's honestly going to be a Ubisoft character. I'm almost certain of that.
Thing is, who can they
Ubisoft.
use?
The Rabbids. Like a Rayman.
I will. Rayman, fine, but the Rabbids. Ugh.
No.
Just no. Just no.
You gotta admit though, they've got a lot of stuff they can work with.
And before anyone in the chat says, what about an R6 character? They're basically Snake at that point. So
yeah,
we wouldn't get an R6.
There is Jade from Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, but
and then there's Ezio.
The data problem is, I know about the whole data mine potentially being a Dragon Quest character, but like when code names or temp placeholder names are put in, they could have decided to start playing with us. I wouldn't put it past Sakurai to have finally caught on and just been like, let's put some troll things in the data.
Yeah.
So, I highly doubt it being Dragon Age anyway.
Quest.
This is an 18. Oh.
Dragon Quest.
Oh, I'll go back.
Susie, go to the corner.
Yeah,
I think Susie has now put herself in the corner.
Yeah, that one. Not the one which has
and
demons
Susie,
getting it on with each other.
and also Susie, troll them real good and pretend Magikarp. That would be funny. I mean, Magikarp does have its own video game now.
True.
That would be the ultimate troll character, though. Just like, here it is, Magikarp. That would set the internet on fire.
Yeah.
Or they could do what they did with the Donkey Kong trailer and start out by teasing us the character. You know, with a fake out.
Yeah.
Well, I say Donkey Kong, you know, King K. Rool. Because they faked out King K. Rool.
Yeah.
Yes, true, Susie. We do have Piranha Plant. So... But like, I could see them maybe opening up the direct with a tease for the character and then coming to it at the end. Because that leaves us scratching our heads all the way through the direct. I doubt that's how they do it, but if I was in charge, I would have that as to how the direct runs. Be like, okay, let's tease the character.
Imagine if it's the Just Dance Panda.
You're drunk.
Well, the panda sure would be.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. So we know. I mean, we know a couple of games they're gonna. Well, I say a couple. You know, we know they're obviously going to talk about. They're going to bring up Mario Maker 2 because we're right on top of its launch. Just as a quick reminder.
Obviously. Quick reminder of Three Houses.
That one might get a little.
Harry Potter and the Emblem of Fire.
But yeah, Fire Emblem. Well, they might do like a little bit on Fire Emblem, just like to be, just because there is still a lot of things people question about it, so they might go over a couple of things. But I can see a lot more on that being done in the Treehouse.
I can see them probably trying to make a new IP which sort of, you know, similar sort of style to like Splatoon or ARMS sort of thing.
Yeah.
Trying to make a new IP.
Still annoyed about Super Mario Maker 2? Well, I don't know, SMM? Yeah. Why? What are you annoyed about, Susie?
Probably the multiplayer thing and playing with only randoms.
Yeah, that is kind of stupid. But yeah, sorry, I remember I'm trying to run like 5-6 different things at once, so it's hard to keep track.
They might announce a new Legend of Zelda game.
I mean, well, we've got the Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on that though. I mean, like,
I don't think we're gonna see another Legend of Zelda game. Well, another big Legend of Zelda game announced this year.
Maybe.
So
But
I think
it has been 3 years since the last one was announced. So
yeah, but
Zelda
bear in mind, like
has
Legend,
come out.
with the exception really of Skyward Sword, Legend of Zelda is a and Majora's Mask really. Legend of Zelda is a once a generation game. Majora's Mask was just basically a lot of reused assets.
Hang on, wasn't Twilight?
Twilight Princess was delayed.
Princess and
I said with the exception of like Skyward Sword, but then Twilight Princess was delayed heavily on the GameCube, and Skyward Sword came out pretty late in the Wii's life.
I mean, if they came out very late...
And bear in mind, though, they pushed Breath of the Wild back so much in order to put it at the Switch.
Yeah.
So...
That means it wasn't on the Wii U. But
well,
since it's now at the start of the life, then we could perhaps
I think
see
the next,
one at the end of the
life.
next
one's probably going to be a cross-generation one as well. That's all I'd say, is it's probably going to be released on both the... there we go. Sorry, it's going to be released on both the Switch and whatever replaces it. So, yeah. Okay.
What else? What else could they announce? I mean, they could show something of Metroid Prime 4. I know you say that's
they
probably
won't.
not happening, but
they will not.
It still might be possible.
They won't.
It's Animal Crossing.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, Metroid Prime 4 won't happen because of the whole... We've only just restarted development.
Yeah. Sequel to Mario Odyssey?
That... I'd say we're probably going to get a 2D before a 3D again.
We did get a sequel to Mario Galaxy in the same...
I think it's going to be more something more akin to like Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World.
Yeah, actually thinking about it, Super Mario Galaxy 3. Yeah, give us Super Mario Galaxy 3.
Yeah. What else we got?
That'd be nice.
What else was there? Well, we know they need to talk about Demon X Machina because that one's coming up in a few months. Astral Chain and Bayonetta 3. I mean, Platinum has been... Okay, Bayonetta 3 we've known about for just over a year, but we've heard nothing. And Astral Chain, they announced earlier this year with a 2019 release, so Astral Chain needs to be talked about, but Bayonetta 3, I think we need to hear something.
You know what we need to hear? Better things. Better offers with the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are hoping they announce the SNES being added.
Screw just the NES. They bring the N64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, just GameCube, just throw it all
GameCube is a problem.
Why?
GameCube, remember, had analog shoulder buttons. Yes, we have the GameCube controller function, but you need more than just...
Recalibrate, I guess. Recalibrate it to work with the Switch controls.
Switch shoulder buttons, the lower shoulder buttons are not analog. They are literally on or off. Because a fair few games on the GameCube were pressure sensitive to the shoulder buttons. Particularly like sports-based games, because that was like controlling how fast or you'd accelerate or brake or some other things. So...
Well, then just bring GameCube games out which didn't require those things. So that there's ones that would be compatible with the Switch.
Best thing would be...
I mean, bound to be
like I said,
games which will be
look, I think if GameCube games, you might as well just do HD remakes. Or HD remasters of, rather than just dump them out like that. SNES, I think, would be... SNES and then, yeah, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, yes. But...
And N64...
N64... Yes...
Nintendo Wii...
Wii, well no, the Wii's are more of an issue because of the Wiimote.
Oh, then... They can sell an adapter that'll let the Wii controllers work with the Switch.
The whole point of the Nintendo Switch Online is that you don't need the accessories. Yes, they've done the optional controller, but that's the whole point. Optional.
Or maybe just give people a free game a month. There doesn't have to be 2 free games that are, you know, where the value of them is like really high or whatever. It's like, you know, just give us a free game.
Oh, fudge, this is not
you
good.
know, just because the offerings at the moment are pretty poor. Like, all
But they
it
do
is
reflect the low price of the thing.
Yeah, but that then compare that to when it was absolutely free at the start of the Switch's lifespan, and now they
Bear in
are
mind, this is the one
justifying-
thing I want to point out that people forget. We went in with them saying this will become paid. A lot of people act like this was that they changed their mind.
Well, yeah.
We
No,
knew
I
it
know
was going to
that-
happen.
I knew it was going to eventually have it.
Mm.
But what's the point in saying that then? Because it's like, well, you you've obviously shown that you can do it for free. So what are you offering as
The
well?
best battle royale game that exists.
What's
Tetris 99. That's what they're offering.
Never heard of it.
You've not heard of
Never heard
Tetris
of it.
99?
No, it sounds like a lot of rubbish.
Where have you been?
Yeah. It's the battle royale game no one knew they wanted.
I mean,
But anyway, yeah.
It tells you something. They say no one knew they needed Tetris 99, but it exploded.
Like, it's still
That's all right,
not
Joe.
really enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, hopefully it also means we are going to get more games like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, especially the way that they're sort of dribbling out sort of games. I'm basically just going off of what Jim Sterling said. I mean, I do agree with what he's saying, because I mean, even at the start, like, at the very start, when the whole thing started, I was like, what is there, really? I mean, I don't really give a crud about the NES games. Like, I can't bring myself to play ancient games.
Yeah, but then there's a large portion of people who do want to play these old games.
no, you're fair and true point.
I mean, it is kind of why Nintendo did the NES Mini and the SNES Mini. And it's
But,
also
like,
why people view those consoles better than the PlayStation Mini,
still,
because they actually went for good games in it. And that's all. Okay, I admit this is where, like, Nintendo have made the business choice. The games they're putting out on the Switch's service are they're skipping the games they put on the NES Mini and the SNES Mini. Because clearly, you know, it's like, well, they're available at the moment. Because if they because they put the both mini consoles into additional production, so now
Yeah.
this unfortunately, because granted, yes, there is a problem with the offerings. Because they put the good games on console on the mini consoles, it has left them with a slight issue of games. But people also are forgetting one other problem when it comes to some of these games that people say should have been available either on the mini consoles or the or on the online service.
Yeah.
And it's licenses. There are some games people want, but the licensings won't let them.
There's nothing you can do about it.
I know one thing that Nintendo should announce at their E3 conference.
And that being?
Themes.
Yes, that's
Yes.
that we're hoping does that.
Nintendo Switch themes, because currently it's just black and white.
Yep, and it's easy. They did it with the Switch is just a slightly more advanced 3DS for its interface. So
Yeah.
and the 3DS could have themes.
The PSP could have themes.
Yeah. So it's just but then that's more akin to the DS.
Yeah.
So
DS could have themes. Yeah, just bring in themes. Heck, give a theme a month to Nintendo online holders. Just give them a theme. You don't have to give them a game. Just give them a theme a month. It doesn't have to be like super good ones, and have all the really really nice ones that they can sell. And have sort of basic but still appealing.
the other thing that is that they probably should look at is maybe do purchase offers like PlayStation and Xbox do.
Oh hell yeah.
But then, like I said, again, it's balancing the low cost with all these other things. Because you have to remember, all these extra things that you're mentioning, you have to pay 50 quid a year for.
Yeah.
Let's consider that, and then with Nintendo, it's only 18 quid. Okay, 17.50, but
Is it 50 quid a year for the PlayStation stuff?
yeah, it was.
Technically.
It was $49.99 or something like that.
Okay.
They put it up late last year. Because the year before, Microsoft put it up and Sony were like, well, look, ours is cheaper now. But then they put theirs up to match. So, yeah. You've got to bear in mind, this is the one thing, like I said, that is the biggest difference between Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo. Is that price difference.
Yeah, but then there's another difference between the PlayStation, Microsoft, and then Nintendo. The Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 didn't have free online for the better half of a year.
You say that. Some third parties actually tried running it without, and yeah. And then let's also actually consider what Sony did in the previous generation. PS3, they offered without. You could play online for free without needing the PlayStation Gold membership. Well, PlayStation Plus. The online service, if you didn't have it, was terrible.
It was horrifying.
They basically set it up to force people to go towards having to buy it, because it's like, oh, this online sucks. Wait, why have you got decent online? They basically designed the system to push you to the subscription.
It was horrifying.
So, yeah. And Microsoft actually did the same with the as Nintendo did with the Xbox 360. It launched not needing online. It was optional initially, and then they made it compulsory. Except Microsoft didn't, when the console launched, they said that it would be an optional thing. They never said it was going to change, and they changed it. And they only gave people the warning of like 3 months or so that they were changing it. So at least, like, again, yeah, it's not. You should do it from the start, or make it as an optional thing if you're going to add it later. But at least Nintendo gave us the warning from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, like...
And then bear in mind, how many games were taking... Okay, this is the only other problem at the minute. How many games are taking advantage of it?
In reality?
Or... Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers...
Now, Smash
Mario
Brothers has
Kart.
been the biggest game that benefits, let's face it. If you ever played Smash Online on the Wii U...
Oh, God!
Yes. This is where the money that they are making from this online subscription is going. Making Smash's
Into
online
online
work.
service.
Yeah.
Yes. Splatoon was decent online. Splatoon 2's online has definitely been better. So, Nintendo are definitely investing the money in their online services.
Which I am mad about. GG, Nintendo, GG.
So,
I think my biggest complaint really is the fact that they're not really offering stuff that... They're not offering, like, a range of things. For
yes, but again,
different
pricing
people.
balance.
Yeah. But...
I mean, look,
because, like,
when they announced that this thing was going to be when they announced this thing was going to be cheap, no one was expecting much. So, because again, let's look at what.
Yeah, but in my opinion, though, I was expecting more than just NES stuff. I don't really play old games.
There
It's
is
like, well,
quite a selection, actually, if you look at it. Well, now there is, because I know they were adding slowly over time.
yeah.
Here we
And
go.
last
So I was just
month's,
bringing up something
Nintendo
Hold on.
update to that thing had more dislikes than likes.
Ah, for fudge.
Where is it?
I'm trying to just. Forget that. That's really annoying. Here we go. So I'm just bringing up a comparison guide.
NES June game updates. 4,300 likes, 9,000 dislikes.
Right, here we go. Okay, so this is in dollars for this thing. So yeah, so Switch Online is $20 a year, compared to PlayStation and Xbox is $60. So you could buy an entire game with how much it costs. So yeah.
True.
Online.
But
Yeah. Required for online.
They give you a lot of games though. That's the. They give you, I think, 4 games a month.
Sony recently cut it because they dropped the PS3. That was the thing. It's
No, it's because I think because the way it works is the first half of the month they offer 2 games for the PlayStation 4 and 2 games for the PS Vita and then 2 games for the PS3.
They stopped PlayStation. They
Yeah,
dropped
you said they
PS3
stopped.
in March.
Yeah.
So
And then
they dropped the number of games.
After the second, and then in the second half of the month, they do another 2 games.
No, they don't.
And then,
They don't.
so that's what it was at one point, I think.
No.
Well, that might be how Xbox did it. I don't know.
Xbox only give right. This is what I say. I've got the full chart of what things they offer. So you all 3 need it for online gameplay. Although it notes on the Switch that some leaderboard-based games don't need it. Games included free of charge. Both Nintendo and Sony offer classic games with the subscription. Xbox, it lets you have to have the Xbox Live subscription in order to do Xbox 360 and Xbox games on their backwards compatible function. Which is kind of annoying because you're having to then subscribe to be able to use your old game collection.
Oh, Xbox were the ones who were doing... So PlayStation did 2 a month at the start, like, together.
Yeah.
But Xbox did... Xbox were the ones then who did...
altering through the month.
One at one point in the month, and then another one at another
They've
point.
changed it now.
But they have changed it now to have... well, I guess that's one for the 360 and then one for Xbox One.
Yeah, but then bear in mind, that's basically you need a subscription to play your old games. All of 3 do discounts, although I have not seen them in the European one. The voice chat function, yeah, there's some stuff. Cloud saves, obviously Switch is limited. PlayStation you have to pay. Microsoft, here comes the thing. You do not need a subscription to use the cloud save. So Microsoft, streaming, that's fine. Smartphone apps, party online, yeah. Effectively, with only a couple of exceptions, Switch is giving you the exact same for a lot less.
I mean, if I look at basically the year's worth of games that...
Yeah, but then, hold on. You've got to bear in mind, the Switch has not been running as long as the other 2, so it's an unfair comparison.
No, it hasn't.
You can only compare when the Switch reaches when you get to a similar age. You can only compare the Switch as it is now to where the PS4 or the Xbox One were at the same point in their life cycle. You can't compare a just over 2-year-old console to consoles that have been running for 5 years.
No.
Because that's an unfair comparison. It'll be the same as like, you compare a brand new car to a used car. So, and especially now as Microsoft and Sony are clearly going to start winding down the consoles. So, yeah, this is the thing, like I say. Trying to compare where the Switch is at the minute, if you're going to do that, you have to compare to where these 2 machines were, and, well, Microsoft took a lot of time to add features to the Xbox Live subscription.
Okay, well, I'll find the very first Xbox One edition then.
Most of it was backpedaling on what they said at their E3 revealing the Xbox One.
They gave away Worms Battlefield on the 5th month of after its release. This is quite nice, honestly. I do like a Worms game.
Yeah, but I don't think that one was a well-received one. So...
Wait, which one was that? Images.
Here we go, list of games with gold. First game they ever did was Fable 3. Oh no, wait, Fable 3 was... Oh, that's on 360. But then it wasn't officially part of it, it was some promo thing.
I remember getting Fable 3 for the Xbox Live Gold. I loved that. That was like one of the best things that they did.
2014 when the Xbox One was launched.
Bloody hell.
They gave away Halo Reach.
Mm.
They gave away Dark Souls.
Yeah, that would have been the original, though.
Yeah, the original one, yeah.
Dark
They gave
Souls.
away Halo's...
Saints Row the
Assault.
Third. Oh, wait,
Dishonored.
that one had... that was only in via a special bundle, the Saints Row the Third one.
Darksiders 2.
Bear in mind, most of the games they're giving away are several years old.
Yeah.
And recent...
True, but...
So I'm just looking through last year's one. They were releasing games even older on it. Most of the time. There's the odd more recent one, but... yeah, they've been... so... yeah.
They gave away Celeste. That was quite a recent one.
Yeah, well that's an indie, so...
Yeah.
they've been doing a lot of original Xbox games originally, at the moment.
Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
Yeah, but no, those, as I'd say, most of the games they release tend to be smaller. There's the odd big one, but... tend to be, like I say, be a smaller thing.
Yeah, like,
So...
I would pay like a month and I'd get like these nice games.
and bear in mind, you could buy most of those games for the £50, for the $50, also the $60 off Steam.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. They're giving away games you can easily get on your PC. Or in the case of like the Halo ones, they're about to release to the PC for next to nothing. Because they did reveal the Halo games are going to be $10 each, with the exception of ODST, which will be $5 for the PC releases. So
You need Windows 10 to get those though.
yeah, but then bear in mind an Xbox One is basically Windows 10.
Yeah, but are they gonna make you get Windows 10 to play, or are they putting it straight on Steam?
It's going onto Steam.
So you should be able to play it without Windows 10.
I don't know the full, because they said they're not going to. They just said it. They're putting it. The announcement was that Halo Master Chief Collection was coming to Steam, or coming to PC via Steam.
Okay.
So, yeah. Which that actually got a lot of people surprised because it was going on Steam, not the Windows Store. So, yeah,
My
we're...
cat's an idiot.
What?
My cat's an idiot.
Which one?
Poppy.
No, Pop Super...
Okay. Let me give my reasons to why. Sniffing catnip, getting the catnip all over her nose and sneezing, and then continue to do the same over and over again, and then glaring at it like, why am I sneezing?
I'm sorry, but when you say sniffing catnip, it kind of sounds like you're doing crack.
That is cat
but
drug.
But with catnip.
That is cat drugs.
Basically.
Ubisoft's presentation's in 31 minutes.
Yeah,
Hooray.
the stream will be over before then, so...
We should stay on the call afterwards and just discuss
Well, I've got
what's
to
going on.
resort things around and then get ready for nap.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah. Because, yeah, like, when looking at the dates for, like, say, when Microsoft released Dark Souls in their free to download, it was not long after Dark Souls Remastered was announced. Meaning, most people are probably going to go for, you know, just be like, well, I'm going to pay for the remaster anyway. Although, really, given how the remaster is, they'd probably have been better going with that free version.
I would have actually personally purchased the remaster. remastered
Whoa.
And
over the 3.
here comes the note, though. It just said Dark Souls, not Dark Souls Prepare to Die. So that would have meant the DLC was not included. So you would not have got the Artorias of the Abyss stuff.
Can I say something quickly? So apparently for Xbox One games with gold, they're giving away the Smite Gold Bundle between June 16th and July 15th, which they say is about $150 worth.
Yeah, I did spot that. Like, some big games that they put as part of it were part of bundle sets.
Okay.
Which
I mean, Smite's a free game, but
yeah, it's like it's a game that is even harder. You know, you have to buy the codes in a certain time point. But yeah, there's, like I say again, going back to the whole thing, the big price difference. We always, you know, that was always going to be the key thing when knowing the price difference. Is no one was expecting much from Nintendo Online, and I guess in a way you can say no one's truly disappointed, because if you go in not expecting much, you can't exactly complain about not getting much back.
The like to dislike ratio seems to contradict that.
Yeah, but then people like to hate just because it looks cool. Let's bear that in mind.
Sorry.
It is like a hate.
I mean, I've seen people who like sometimes I've seen it when it comes to protesters at things. There are some people who are clearly just there because they want to protest. Because it looks good. It's like, when like there was a volley of pubs closing across the county, you had people showing up at opposite ends of the county saying, "Save my local pub." Bear in mind, you know how wide Hertfordshire is, Alex.
Yep.
So you had people showing up in Tring one week, and then were seen at the far opposite end of the county the next week, saying, "Save my local pub."
Yeah.
And then sometimes you see them in other protests where you can tell, and like someone's been caught out once on this. I have seen this was played on a clip. It was on the last leg they were talking about how some people clearly are just there because they want to be part of a protest, because Josh had pulled up a clip of the most clueless protester ever, where they were being interviewed about the protest, and it's like, I don't know what this is about. I just came to join the protest.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is the problem. That sometimes you can't be certain what the real figures are. Some people just do it because they think it's cool. So, granted, I never heard of either of those games that they were putting in for that last one.
Bless ya.
But you never know. Sometimes you never know. People might still download these games and be like, well, it's free, so I can give it a try and delete it if not.
Exactly.
And might find, actually, I like this game.
No, an Xbox One S, 1 terabyte. It only costs £200.
Yeah, but then bear in mind that's had price cuts.
Yeah.
I mean, even
right
even the Xbox One X has had price cuts now.
Yeah. Seems like a pretty decent thing.
Thing is, though, Microsoft are bringing, announced that the Xbox Game Pass is coming to PC.
Yeah.
Answer me this. What is the reason to own an Xbox One if you can just play everything on your PC?
And you do actually have a gaming PC.
Yeah. But anyone who is going to buy an Xbox Game Pass for PC is going to have a gaming PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, tell me why I should have an Xbox One.
Tell me why.
You shouldn't.
Oh, TA thought you were sniffing the catnip, Susie.
Yes, I sniff catnip daily.
But yeah, it's... And here comes the crazy bit. Microsoft announced that they are expanding the Xbox Ultimate Pass now. So you get the Xbox Game Pass for Xbox One,
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass for PC, and Xbox Live membership. All for $15 a month.
However, if you do it now, you can do it for one.
Yeah,
Just
bear
for
in
this
mind this
month.
offer's not available in Europe.
Is it not?
Nope.
Those assholes.
Yep. But here's the point, though. Who's going to buy it to have the Game Pass on both PC and console? Because it's going to be the same games. That's, they've said there's going to be no difference in the games.
I mean, I could probably see streamers doing it, or certain streamers that use something cool.
Yeah, but then again, why are they going to play it on their PC over the console?
Variety?
Doesn't really make much difference. It's... I saw something in there. Oh, great. I thought I was right with what I saw.
That's horrible.
Oh, God, Chomp got one of the worst abilities.
It is the worst ability.
Oh.
Oh, that is rough.
Guess who's going into storage when we get to the next city?
No, no! You had a good run, Garchomp.
Well, it was either truant or slow start.
Wait, I've got 3 Amulet coins.
Oh.
Hang on, you get 3 amulet points.
That's because of the randomizer.
I know, but like, I was just thinking, what would happen if you put all 3 into one battle?
Yeah, I know. I do this whenever in some of the games you get 2 of them naturally.
Like, will that double the double of the double?
No, it just adds the times together.
Add or multiplies?
Well, it'll add them together, so 2 times becomes 4 times, then becomes 6 times.
So not 2 times becomes 4 times becomes 8 times?
No. Unless they've done it, they changed it in some generations. But because last time I mean, granted it's been several years since I looked, but at one point anyway, it just adds the number of times you used a multiplier together, and then does the times.
Fair enough.
So
21 minutes! Woo!
So
Ubisoft was my favourite from last year, so let's see if they can impress me again.
Probably not.
And you know what they're going to start with? They're going to start with Just Cause 2020.
I don't think
I still remember
Just Cause is not a yearly game.
Just Dance, rather.
I was about to say, because Just Cause, they only just put number 4 out.
Done. Yeah,
Just
just cause 2020.
Oh, hell.
Alex, you deserve the corner for this.
Yeah. I was about
And
to
we
say,
never hear from Alex again.
I would say that's kind of welcome, Just Cause 2020, not Just Dance. Jeez, oh Christ.
I still remember the Just Dance reveal trailer from last year though. It was so good. Like, it's honestly probably the most memorable thing of E3 last year. Like, it was that impressive. Although, to be fair, everything else was so dull, so there's that too.
There's just been so many Just Dances, I literally don't give a crap anymore.
Hey, it keeps the Wii relevant.
It does.
That's because like it's almost like the Wii was made for that game.
Pretty sure the people who directed that were tripping on acid.
To be fair, I feel that about certain games that are developed by a certain company.
You mean multiple companies?
No, one game in particular I do question about what they're taking.
BioWare?
No.
Bethesda?
No.
The CEO of Gearbox?
Hold on, wait, sorry, too many people talking there.
The CEO of Gearbox?
No.
From Software.
Yes. There are times in the Souls series that you go, what were you on?
What are you sniffing? Tell me what it is, and then get rid of it.
No, with Dark Souls it's more, what are you sniffing? Take more of it. It's not crazy enough.
It's like, we need more.
Yeah.
One day I'm going to come into the office, see some of the workers sniffing crack, I'm going to ask them to give me some, and then ask them what the hell's going on.
I mean, there's a couple of enemies in the franchise where the art team, they've just gone, nah, you need to take more. I'll come back and see what you're like in 5 minutes.
If I don't see white bits coming from your nose, then I know you haven't been doing it properly.
Yeah.
In all fairness, when you do look at concept arts, some of them make me go, what the hell were you smoking when you designed
Also, the team who make Saints Row.
this? Oh my god! How Deep Silver.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get Code Vein. Like, it looks pretty good, and
It does.
the jiggle physics are on point.
Hello?
But yeah, Deep Silver, like, some of the decisions in Saints Row 4, just...
Oh, you haven't seen anything Saints Row 3 yet. Just
well, that's
saying.
because I'm only on my first time in Saints Row 3. Susie forgot that, didn't she?
I know, but still. It's great.
I wonder if they'll have a giant panda again.
No, they've got to do something different.
Giant squirrel.
Well, that's Susie gone. Susie can't even talk. Now Susie's high.
Ah, squirrel.
Maybe it'll be bendy.
What bendy and ink machine?
Yeah.
That's already out though.
No,
Oh.
the Smash release.
Oh. I mean,
Hey!
but Just Dance. Instead of a dancing panda, she'll be bendy.
Would Rooster Teeth agree to that?
Rooster Teeth.
I'm certain that was Rooster Teeth
I
Games.
need to go and put it in the phone.
Or am I thinking of something else? Because they put something out recently.
You are thinking of something else.
Probably, most definitely.
A little madam. That's my pillow! I put my head on that.
Oh,
Yeah, it is Rooster
one of
Teeth.
one of the publishers is Rooster Teeth Productions.
Yeah.
No idea.
So
It's mostly Joey Drew Studios, but I guess they do have Rooster Teeth helping them in production in the publisher store area.
yeah.
This is interesting.
Yeah. So no, you know what they'll do is have the rabbits dance because
hell
just
no.
just no. They want to give people nightmares. And this year's and next Just
Bring in
Dance.
Ezio. We'll bring in Ezio, the guy from Watch Dogs.
He's
the
not
guy
from Watch
Ghost
Dogs.
Recon, the guy from.
Ezio is from Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I know.
You said
I'm
Watch Dogs.
saying. Yeah, I said. Bring in Ezio. Bring in the guy from.
You
Watch
said it as
Dogs.
one
bring in the guy
sentence.
from Ghost Recon. Bring in the guy from the Rainbow Six. That's what I meant.
Yeah, no, but you said bring in Ezio, the guy from Watch Dogs. You said it all
because
as
I
one.
didn't put in the bit in between. I didn't put the.
Yeah,
bring
but
in- I didn't say bring in the. I was going on like. Bring in Ezio, the guy from Watch Dogs, the guy from Ghost Recon.
but how
guy
quickly you
from-
said it made it sound like one line, as if you were saying that's the game he's from.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what I meant, obviously.
It's easy to make. It's easy to sound like that's what you meant.
I mean, two of us actually thought that.
So we then need.
Sorry.
I mean,
Bringing the guys from R6, just all of them.
yeah, I was about to say you've got to remember there's a lot of operators in R6, and none of them are the main characters. So, which one do you bring in?
Cav. TA would want Cav to a snuffy dance.
Cav wouldn't be dancing. Cav would just run in
I
and stab
I
it.
finished making my jelly. I better go get the jugs. Oh, those are bouncy.
More drugs.
But yeah, just imagine all the operators from R6 coming on stage in their full gear.
Oh.
They wouldn't be able to dance, particularly not the defenders.
Oh no! Okay, so Tachanka.
And that is
No.
when Susie died.
No. Just no. No. We do not need that image of Tachanka dancing with his LMG. Because just pop pop days. Can you just drag Susie to the corner, please? Because I think she's broken. Great, Susie's imagining Tachanka pole dancing. Jeez.
And now I've shown, and now I've sent Susie a video which will cause her to just roll over laughing on the floor.
I think she already is on the floor, to be honest.
Well, now she's going to start rolling down the stairs.
That's actually hard in her room.
What is that? What the hell?
Trying to think of what to catch here.
Yay, it buffered! Oh. What? What in the...
Krogunk.
This is by far one of the best things that happened last year at E3.
What was I gonna mention? Da-da-da-da. Oh no, that was the year before. No. Do that for now. Itch. Oh, hello. The Olga. That was a surprise. But nope.
Can you see now why I'm excited for Ubisoft's E3 conference, Susie?
Yeah.
Just wait until it's announced as an Epic Store exclusive.
Oh, hell. In all fairness, the sax guy is literally doing it as the sax guy in Eurovision.
Mm-hmm. But like, you can see like what I mean by it is why it was like the most memorable thing from last year of E3.
I mean, in fairness, it's lit up an entire room and made them go absolutely nuts. I'm guessing the rest of the presentation went downhill from there.
Oh no, there was some really good stuff. They actually got an entire band out to play the theme song for Donkey Kong. They showed off Star Fox being in Starling.
Yeah, no, those are Nintendo properties they're showing off that got most people excited.
Yep.
So let's be honest, Ubisoft are only doing well either in sequels to games that already existed or by doing stuff with Nintendo IP.
Not just, Beyond Good and Evil.
That's a sequel.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, still, it was a great presentation, honestly, last year for Ubisoft. I felt it was better than Nintendo's.
Bear in mind, Nintendo's isn't
E3
actually a
conference.
presentation, it's just the Direct. So-
Basically. It's just a glorified Direct.
Well, no, it's just a bigger Direct.
Yeah.
It's not a presentation, so... Nintendo don't even call it a presentation, because it's not.
Yeah, like, that's... I mean, out of all the people that were at E3 showing stuff, including Nintendo, Ubisoft was my favorite. Because it just did so much, and it was just so entertaining to watch.
The things people like were actually things that you can't have. You can't have an actual band in your living room that is playing the Donkey Kong theme. You can't have that guy playing the sax there all the time.
It was fun to watch. You know, you're going to a place to see interesting stuff happen. You know, you go to like
but you also have to question one thing though, Alex.
by...
Alex, You also have to question the biggest thing. If they're putting on more of a show, what are they covering up?
Ooh, that's actually
That
a
is
good
something
point.
Jim has pointed out with some things. When they make a big spectacle of, you know, stuff which is irrelevant, what are they hiding?
The fact that their games are copy and pastes of each other, just with different skins over the top.
And
Really?
years.
Yeah, well, that's basically like different skins.
Years.
So, yeah. They're just making the show, and they're just making the big show to make you forget, oh yeah, this is the, you know, 20th year in a row we've released Just Dance.
Yep.
Beyond Good and Evil, you know we've been working on it for like forever.
And here's the release date. It turns out it's coming out next week.
Nah, just kidding.
Nope, we're actually going to be postponing it for another 3 years.
It's the next Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh god. Hey, Ubisoft didn't do Duke.
No,
What are you
but
talking
no,
about?
the joke is because Duke Nukem Forever took forever.
Oh.
It took 16 years.
Yikes.
Bear in
And
mind.
it came out as a pile of trash.
Yeah, bear in mind. For a few weeks, Alien Colonial Marines was the longest game in development.
Yeah.
And then Duke Nukem overtook.
Yep.
So, at least Duke Nukem had an appropriate title.
Yep. Just like how... What the f...
Hmm?
I'm just looking at the E3 sort of stream and whatnot that Twitch are doing, and so they had a video on the side where one person was talking to a character in Far Cry New Dawn, and then a shovel came flying out from the right of the camera and just smacked the guy in the head.
Fudge.
And then you just see a guy run
Hang on,
past.
hang on, hang on, hang on. Alright, bye.
Oh, this guy's now just thrown a C4 on a chicken and let the chicken walk up to an enemy.
Disruptive. Yeah.
I kicked the chicken into the enemy and
Oh,
it
yeah,
blew
yeah.
up.
Okay, I think Alex has been drinking something. I find a
I
decent
need
Pokemon
to get
catcher.
just... I need...
Alex
I
needs
need
to go and
Far
lie
Cry
down
Dawn.
in the dark and not be allowed to watch things on the internet.
Ubisoft show starts in less than 2 minutes.
Because
Ooh. That is a cool cosplay. Ah, Claude is a rabbit.
I like how Susan's like, that's a cool cosplay. Ah, no, a rabbit. Because she realised what it was.
I know, it was
That's remind me of something that Richard Hammond said on the Grand Tour. He's talking about experience with when you're driving up behind cyclists. It's like looking at the butt of the cyclist is like, oh wow, actually, it's really good shape. Oh god, he's got a beard.
Yeah, Hammond's one to talk because he cycles.
Yeah, Hammond's one to talk because he'll actually be upside down.
Hey, at least he's not Tory,
Yeah.
who will try jumping a child's wagon just because he's told, hey, could you jump it? For a laugh.
13, 12, 11, 10.
Oh, mentioning
9,
things.
8,
Adam Savage has a
7,
new TV show.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, but this news is more important.
It's
Adam Savage
starting.
has his new TV show. Which I saw him talking about the other day. So it's Savage Builds, and it's just a series where he builds whatever the heck he wants each episode.
Assassin's Creed Symphony.
Oh.
Get in the ball, Ninetales!
I should have told him point, yeah.
Come on, I want to end the
Same.
stream. This weather's going to destroy me because I hate the hail. But yeah, so now I don't know when it's coming to the UK, but I know from his thing he said it's going to be airing in the US on Friday nights
Oh.
after BattleBots on Discovery. Discovery. So yeah, so hopefully well, in theory it should come to Discovery over here then. But yeah, it's good to have Adam back on TV.
It is.
So
Oh, I think what they're doing is they're sort of what they said. The Assassin's Creed Symphony was on the screen, but they're just—it's sort of like the band, and they're showing off sort of like
they're playing the soundtrack.
They're playing the soundtrack, and they're showing off trailers of previous Assassin's Creed games.
But when was it? No, Odyssey was released last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they said
Yeah.
that was a
And
2-year.
Origins.
That was going to be a 2-year cycle game. So maybe some big expansions
Well-
are coming for it.
Either that, they're actually going to be doing a touring of the entire music for,
Yeah.
like, Symphony of the Goddess for Legend of Zelda.
Or maybe they're going to do a remaster of every single game.
Well, they've just done remaster of 3.
And Black Flag, if I'm correct.
No.
Oh no.
Trying to think, what is it? I want to name this Fox. What are we naming Ninetales?
Fox McCloud?
It's a girl.
Fox, Miss Cloud.
Hang on, just remembered.
Oh, Jenny Ryan!
We'll call it. I don't think. Yeah, we'll call it Jenny.
Fantastic Mrs. Wolf.
Jenny, because best bit is with Ninetales. This Ninetales being the original version, it's a fire type,
Hey!
not the Alolan form,
The
which
English are coming.
is. We are the English, Alex.
Yep.
Hi. Just let me set down my cup of tea and eat my crumpet, touch you, dear sir.
Yeah, they're playing the music that corresponds to each of the games that they're showing at the time.
Yeah, so yeah, the Zelda
they're doing a
Symphony
very
does that.
piratey theme.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, the Zelda Symphony does that. When they did the Pokemon tour, that happened. So yeah, it's
Kind of
nothing.
makes me want to play Black Flag again, though.
I honestly want to play Black Flag. I've heard it's a really good one out of the Assassin's Creed games. So I tried to play 1, tried to play 3, and oh my god, I just preferred reading the book altogether, to be honest with you.
Oh, they just moved on to Egypt.
Well, I can tell you that their game was rubbish because there was no Stargates in sight. We know the ancient Egyptians were enslaved by a race from space, forced to build the pyramids for worship, and the Stargate was there because that's how the aliens got to Earth, along with spaceships.
Yeah, that.
It's historically true. I saw it on
So
TV
what?
and read it on the internet.
Is this going to end up showing off a new Assassin's Creed?
I just said it won't. They're probably not going to show off a new one because they said they're moving to a 2-year cycle, and
They said that.
I think it's going to be maybe a big expansion for Odyssey.
I mean, they could they could have something in the works, maybe.
Yeah, but they're announcing it this early. That means it's going to make people less interested in Odyssey.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm ending here, so... I'm considering swapping Dark Souls to Wednesday, potentially,
Okay.
because, yes, Nintendo's presentation is at 5 o'clock.
Hang on.
I say
They're
presentation.
filling in the screen with every single protagonist.
You know what it's going to
wow.
be? It's going to be Assassin's Creed version of Super...
Collection.
No, Assassin's Creed version of Super Smash Brothers.
That was just their intro. That was just the introduction to their Ubisoft's
Yeah.
presentation.
But that would have been funny if I called that.
I won't lie, that
World
was...
tour of Assassin's Creed Symphony.
Yeah, well, why not?
Oh, wow.
Is it coming
fuck
to
up.
the UK at any point?
I can't
London,
bloody read
October
it.
5th.
It'll probably be the London Symphony Orchestra, because that's
The
usually...
Eventim Apollo.
Yeah, the Apollo, I know what that is.
Yeah.
That's Hammersmith.
Hmm.
Because that's where I saw both Zelda and Pokemon symphonies. Both, like I say, both played were done by the Symphony Orchestra.
Hmm.
So...
Chris Waters.
But anyway, yeah.
I actually might want to go see that.
We'll see what happens. So yeah, follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and yeah, next time, got another gym. So, bye bye.